Johnny Phillips with Junior Achievement of New Jersey, where we prepare students to succeed in the global economy.
Hi, Johnny. I'm Sue Bovan. I work for Verizon in Basking Ridge, New Jersey. At Verizon, I am what's known as a portfolio manager for the consumer group in Verizon, meaning all the people who work with Fios residential or your basic wireless consumer phones. And my role as a portfolio manager is to help the company decide what are the most important projects we should work on that are going to bring the most benefit to the company and to our society and to our customers. I've been at Verizon for about 20 years. I came in as a project manager, managing a little project, and then I grew to be a program manager, which meant that I did multiple projects. I managed IT developers both in India and here in the United States for a while. And then about 3.5 years ago, I moved into this portfolio management role, which lets me use all of the knowledge I gained over my time here at Verizon at a more strategic level.
Right. Right. So learning through the projects you've worked through to advise on which projects Verizon should go ahead and implement going forward.
Yes.
Nice, nice. That's really interesting work that you're doing, Sue. And I want to thank you for sharing that. You got me thinking. I would ask you if you can describe your job story, and meaning any jobs that you had in the past, and kind of how this led up to you taking different roles in Verizon into the role that you're in now.
Sure, sure. Well, I have a very circuitous route that got me to Verizon. I started off as a high school and middle school choral teacher. Because my degrees were, my bachelor's is in music performance and my master's degree is in music education. And I did 8 years teaching. At that point, I had spoken and sang so much that I lost my voice. So I had to take a leave of absence and find another position to make some money while I was waiting for my voice to recover. Friends of mine were starting a software company. They asked me to come and develop their training material for their startup software company. A year later, when it was time to go back to teaching, we were acquired by a much larger insurance company, and I decided to stay in corporate America. So I worked at an insurance company where after doing the software training, I moved into being the director of the training for our life insurance agents. Did that for a while until our company, unfortunately, went into bankruptcy. At that point, I retrained myself to be a project manager, since really when I was in the high school choral job, I produced and directed high school musicals, which is really a big project management item where you have a whole bunch of different groups of people that you have to coordinate to deliver something on a certain date. So I did that, and eventually did some consulting for a few years, and then ended up at Verizon, as I said, starting with the project and the program management of helping to form what at that time was Verizon Wireless, where we brought about 8 or 10 companies together into Verizon.
Okay.
So it was a lot of fun. Learned a lot.
Nice, nice. And it's an interesting combination between educating and then becoming a trainer. And a lot of people don't draw the connection between, you can educate students, but you can also educate professionals and people who are, performing a function on a day-to-day basis. So thank you for drawing that line that we don't normally see. You can move from education into the business world and still utilize your skills in education. And I want to ask how your education at Carnegie Mellon and throughout college might have helped you leverage yourself going through corporate America and taking on some new challenges. Was there anything that you learned in the education field away from the classroom that might have helped you?
Sure. Yes, well, I was really lucky to be able to go to Carnegie Mellon. I grew up in Pittsburgh. It was 20 minutes from my house, and I was able to go there and stay on campus. I learned a tremendous amount at Carnegie Mellon because of the excellence of the academic environment. I was in the music department, of course, practicing and doing all of that musical study. But I also had the opportunity to do work-study jobs on campus where I worked in the library and assisted with recording music for various music courses, but I also helped to run a Saturday extension program for the music department where we had children from the Pittsburgh area would come and have Saturday music lessons with our faculty members. In doing that, I learned how to run an office.
Hmm.
I learned how to bill people for their lessons. And what I didn't realize at the time, keep in mind, this is the late 70s, so it was a while ago, we actually at Carnegie Mellon utilized an intranet at that point. I didn't know that that wasn't available in the rest of the world, but I would play Dungeons and Dragons on the intranet in my office.
Yeah.
And we were thoroughly, completely connected. And I was exposed to children whose parents were faculty members at Carnegie Mellon that, oh, by the way, won a Nobel Peace Prize. I had many friends who were electrical engineers, so I just got exposed to a lot of different people, got to perform in some drama department productions along with people whose names are all over television these days or Broadway. So it was really, college was, going to the university was an amazing experience to just expand what I would be able to do and to give me the opportunity to try all sorts of things. And I think that's the most important thing is try many, many things till you find the thing that really hits you, turns you on, and that you like to do. Because you're always going to be doing things you may not like, but if the core of what you're doing matters to you, that's where you want to be.
Right. So, combine the interest with also hard work and something that's going to move you. Susan, thank you for sharing that and, tying in
Absolutely.
the idea that you are a product of your environment. College is not about just getting a degree or learning something in a textbook. You're going to surround yourself with people who have similar goals and like-minded ideas. And from there, you never know what your interests will develop into and where your interests will lie. So that's really relevant. Thank you for sharing that. And to
Yeah,
end off,
absolutely. And just a point on that, the other part that I didn't mention is who you meet in terms of your roommates, who lives in the dorm with you, who do you end up having an apartment with. You just get exposed to so many people from so many different areas and walks of life. It's a fabulous experience. So if you're in high school and you're thinking of going off to college, do
yeah,
it.
don't hold back, right? And growing that
Yes,
network.
don't hold back.
So definitely.
Definitely.
And to end off, you've given some really good pieces of advice, and you sound like somebody who was willing to take risk and somewhat of a self-starter. But if you can go back and give your younger self any piece of advice, what would you say to yourself, and maybe even a young person now who's looking to follow in your footsteps?
The number one thing I would say is believe in yourself.
Hmm.
Be strong, be confident. I think it's wonderful, the young people that I interact with these days. I actually work with young people at my church, where I still do my music by directing a youth choir.
Nice, nice.
And I'm just amazed at the wonderful confidence that they have and the ability to stand up. So be strong, be confident, believe in yourself, and look for something, like I said, that really excites you to do. Because, there's always work and there's always a salary and all of those things. But you want to be doing something that also brings you some joy inside of yourself. That, makes you feel good, makes you feel like you're contributing something to the world. That's what I would say.
Nice. And that might take some time just to, develop your own interests and your own goal setting and understanding what it is that makes you happy and what it is you want to do. But it's, never too early to start and never too late to get started. So, Susan, I want to thank you for taking the time again to shoot this quick fireside chat with me. From Junior Achievement, we really do appreciate you, and we look forward to talking to you in the future.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it.